Hey guys, we're just going to talk about what a system of equations actually is and then what the solutions look like for those. So a system of equations is just two or more equations that have the same variable or variables, in this case x and y. Okay, so when you're looking at the graph, the point xy is where the two lines intersect. So that will be the solution. So you'll look for the intersection point and then identify it as an ordered pair x comma y. Algebraically, the point xy, that makes both equations true. So if you think back to the sheet you did yesterday from the video where I was showing you if, I think it was 1739 or something like that, if that made the equation true or not. In this case, if you think about it, the x and the y will satisfy both equations. So if you plug it into both equations, it would make both of those true. There are three different options for your solutions. So you could have just two intersecting lines. So these could be any type of two intersecting lines. And then you would only have one solution, and you'll write that as an ordered pair. So it'll be x comma y. You could have two parallel lines, meaning they do not ever cross. That means they have the same slope. So if you can identify the slope of each equation and see that they're the same with different y-intercepts, that would automatically tell you they're parallel, so there will not be any solutions. The notation for that, if you want, you can write no solution, or you can use this like little O or zero with kind of like a dash diagonal through it. If you go to graph both lines and they end up on top of each other, so you graph this one and you graph another one and it ends up being on top of it, so it looks like one line, these end up having the same slope and the same y-intercept. So they're exactly the same line, which means they share all the points in common and would have an infinite amount of solutions. You can either use the infinity symbol, it's like a sideways 8, or you can write infinite solutions. Okay, so when you're graphing these or solving them by graphing, we'll also do substitution and elimination in the next week. You will do basically three things every time. You're going to make sure both equations are in slope-intercept form. So look like y equals mx plus b. Secondly, you're going to graph both of those equations. So graph the lines. And then you'll identify the intersection point or the solution, which remember can be that one solution, no solution, or infinite solution. So let's go ahead and try. We're going to actually do two examples together, and then you guys are going to try three on your own. Okay, so we're going to solve these by graphing. Remember to identify your slope and your y-intercept. So for this first one, I'm going to start at +3. My slope is -5/3, so remember that should be a decreasing line from left to right. So I'm going to go down 5 and to the right 3. So then that is a decreasing line. Okay, second equation, I'm going to start at -3. It's a positive slope here, 1/3. So remember it should be increasing from left to right. So you're going to go up 1 to the right 3. You can also go backwards, so down 1 to the left 3. And then once you correctly graph both of those, you can identify the intersection point if there is one. So this one looks like it crosses at 3, -2. So the answer to this one is 3, -2. If you were to plug the x and the y here into both of these equations, it would make both of those true. Okay, number 2 is a little bit harder because these are not in y equals mx plus b form. So that's why we went ahead and worked on these while we were just graphing lines. So that first one, I need to get the negative y by itself. So I'm going to move the 4x to the other side. So I'm going to do the inverse operation. I subtracted 4x. This cancels. You have negative 1y. If you want to write the 1, go ahead. And then on the right-hand side, I'm going to flip that to be mx, so negative 4x minus 3. Then I'm going to divide by negative 1 and simplify. So I have y equals positive 4x. If you need to leave that divide by 1 there to see the slope, that's fine. And then negative 3 over negative 1 is positive 3. So we're going to graph this line right here. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to start at positive 3. It's a positive 4, so make sure you're increasing when you draw the slope from here. So go down 4, and then to the left 1. So you can see when I connect these, I have a positive line. Okay, second one, we are going to subtract x on both sides. So I have y equals negative x minus 2. So slope here, remember that's a negative 1, and then the y-intercept is negative 2. So I'm going to start at negative 2, the negative line, so down 1 to the right 1. Then you can go back up, which you need to, because you can see now you have your intersection point. So it looks like your intersection point here is at negative 1, negative 1. And then I'm also going to show you guys how to check these in the calculator so you can kind of check your work. Today we definitely want to graph all of these by hand, and then you can use your calculator to check your work. Tomorrow we'll do some just in the calculator to get you some more practice with the calculator. So go ahead on your TI-84 calculators, go to y equals, and then type both of these equations in. So I will do the same thing. So while I'm typing them in, you should be typing them in as well. So, and remember it's y equals, so that's why it was so important that we learn how to solve for y. So 4x plus 3, negative x minus 2. Remember for that second one, it leads with a negative, so you're going to use the button below the 3. That's the negative button. And then the minus 2 is subtraction, so you'll use the operation button over on the right column. Okay, let's look at the graph. So hit graph. And then just some pointers for the calculator, guys. If your screen looks funky, you may need to hit zoom 6, and then that should give you like the negative 10 to 10 window to be able to see both lines. So your calculator will actually do the intersection point for you once you type them in. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that. If you, I'll write the buttons down too so you can see. So you're going to hit second trace. It's going to bring you up a list of what it wants you to calculate. So we're actually counting, doing the intersection point, so number 5. And then on yours, it's going to say, I think, first curve, and then second curve, and then guess. You're going to hit enter 3 times, and then it should give you that intersection point. The phone app that I told you all to download for your phones to do your homework at home is slightly different. It's going to ask you for the left and right, and you just have to hit enter twice. So, and again, today that's really just for a checkpoint. So if you want to check them, you can. You can also check the answer key. If you have any questions, please let me know. And good luck on the next 3. So try the next 3 problems. Thank you.